there was some sort of shootout. There were reports of a hostage situation. We're not quite sure whether that's actually is a genuine report. That was to Turkish TV. The Turkish government is saying that the incident is coming under control. We're not quite sure what that means, but
Hmm.
it seems to be that they are getting control of the situation. There are reports that two of the attackers are dead.
Now, I want to break into what is already a packed agenda of news on today's drive with some developing news from Turkey, where the Interior Minister has now confirmed there's been a terrorist attack leaving 4 dead, 14 people injured in Ankara. A state run aerospace and defense company has been the target of an attack. Footage emerged online showing a large explosion and militants entering the complex. Richard Spencer is covering this story for The Times and joins us now. Welcome to you, Richard. Can I start by asking you, what do we know of what happened here?
Yeah, so what happened was completely out of the blue, an explosion at about 2 o'clock our time, 4 o'clock Turkish time, at the headquarters of this major Turkish aerospace firm called TUSAS. That's its acronym. It makes fighter jets. It used to build F-16s under license, American jets, and now makes Turkey's indigenous fighter jet. That explosion was then followed by a gunfight. Judging by CCTV footage, which has been given to Turkish TV, there appear to have been three gunmen. Possibly one of them a woman. These details, of course, yet to be confirmed. But that's what the CCTV footage seems to show. There was some sort of shootout. There were reports of a hostage situation. We're not quite sure whether that's actually is a genuine report. That was to Turkish TV. The Turkish government is saying that the incident is coming under control. We're not quite sure what that means, but
Hmm.
it seems to be that they are getting control of the situation. There are reports that two of the attackers are dead. Now, there was another TV report said that the initial bombing was a suicide bombing. So again, we don't know if there are two dead, whether they include the suicide bomber. And as you said, there are now reports that four people are confirmed dead and a number of injured. Several, I believe, seriously, but four dead at least.
Right, so we wait to hear more about what actually happened and what's going on now, because it seems you think that the operation is winding down, but we can't be sure.
It's hard to say at the moment what more details will emerge immediately. There's been no claim of responsibility. There are there are difficult circumstances at the moment in Turkey. Um, a number of sensitive situations politically. There has been talk recently of a resumption of peace talks between Turkish government and the PKK, the main sort of Kurdish guerrilla faction in Turkey. There was also the death this week of Fethullah Gulen, who's an Islamist leader who was originally an ally of President Turkin, became President Erdogan, became an enemy, had died in exile in the United States. He was accused of being behind a coup attempt in Turkey 8 years ago. At the moment, we've still got to watch this situation developing. Nothing is clear yet.
Right. I mean, again, so we wait to see who was behind this attack. Is there much of a clue in the choice of target, Richard? This is an aerospace factory which produces equipment which has been used in different ways in different places, including in Syria, which I guess maybe feeds the idea that we could be talking about Islamist extremists here, jihadists.
Yeah, so it's certainly the case that obviously a weapons factory of any sort, particularly a jet factory, would be a terrorist target by any group that was fighting the Turkish state. Jets have been used to bomb PKK Kurdish positions, as I say, in Iraq. Fairly recently, a leftist group would be targeting a symbol of the Turkish military establishment. And as you say, Islamist terrorists have also been targeted by Turkey. As I say, the appearance of the people caught on CCTV, particularly if that the report of a woman being amongst them is confirmed, would steer you away from Islamic State, for example, which
Yes.
doesn't use women in attacks of this sort.
Yeah, I mean, there've been statements of support for Turkey from, among others, the Secretary General of NATO. Oh, how serious is the threat of terrorist violence in Turkey now from these various sources?
Well, there is always there are the two main threats historically in the last 3 or 4 decades have been from the PKK, which has staged an insurgency against the Turkish state since the 1980s. That's had peaks and troughs. As I say, it's been inside Turkey. There's been a bit of a trough, mainly because of the attrition waged against it by the PKK, by the Turkish government, which took the fight very strongly to the PKK in northern Iraq, where since the breakdown of the last ceasefire deal in that war in 2015, Turkey really has been pummeling PKK positions from the air in northern Iraq, which it didn't do before. So there is that this far leftist militant group, which has conducted occasional, fairly random attacks on the Turkish state. This could be another of those.
All right, Richard Spencer, thank you so much.
Sesin anlaşılmıyor. Birisi kadın, değil mi? Şu kadın mı?
Bir tane kadın.
Birisi kadın, birisi erkek.
Çıktı. A3 çıktılar mı? A3'e çıktı istiyorum abi. Evet abi A3'e çıktı istiyorum abi acil. Kim Türkiye mi? Efendim?
Ne?
Evet ben başından beri otomatik.
Bakanımız.
İçişleri ve Ulaştırma.
İçişleri Bakanımız zaten
Mert.
İstanbul'da buraya geldi. Operasyon.
Biri kadın, biri erkek olmak üzere 2 terörist etkisiz hale getirilmiştir. Maalesef değerli arkadaşlar 4 şehidimiz bulunmakta. 14 yaralımız var. Yaralılarımız